Right, my high mileage salvage E92 M3 has developed another fault. What a surprise, I know, but I'm sure you can relate to a degree. Yes, come on, you know exactly what one I'm on about, we've all been there. So I was driving this car the other day and randomly out of nowhere the engine light came on, it flagged up, engine malfunction, it lost half its power and it started misfiring. So I pulled over, turned the car on and off, thinking it'd be okay. It was fine for about 5 or 10 minutes and then 5 or 10 minutes later it came back on.
Yeah, so I pulled over to take a proper look under the bonnet and I couldn't see anything too obvious that was wrong with it.
And I don't think it's going to be down to anything like a spark plug because I haven't long serviced it, so it's quite unlikely, and that's kind of when I started to think I might have a bit of a bigger problem. So you may think it's a bad thing, but I'm actually pretty glad it's happened down the road and not far from home instead of a million miles away. So we need to figure out what's wrong with it, why the engine light's flagged up and why it's randomly misfiring but not all the time. But the thing is, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, so today we're going to have a look at it, try and figure it out and see what's actually wrong with it. And I'm kind of hoping for a cheap and easy, simple fix maybe, but I'm sure you know just as much as me, anything with this badge on the front of it is never usually cheap, simple or easy to fix. So today we're going to figure it out. But wait a minute, here's the thing, I haven't got a clue what this could be. It's completely random and there's no obvious pattern to it. It's not doing it all the time and it's only doing it part of the time, and as soon as you turn the car on and off it will disappear. So we need to try and look at it, figure out what the problem is and hopefully fix it. And another thing that isn't very good, these are quite common for the injectors to go wrong, so I'm kind of hoping it's not anything to do with that. And the other thing is I haven't long serviced it, so I don't think it's going to be related to that. So now you kind of know what's going on. Well, sorry, I don't really know what's going on. Okay, so let's go and figure out what's wrong with it. Right, so now we're back and I've got myself changed, ready to dig into this. You're probably also wondering what we're going to be using to try and figure that out. Well, I'm glad that you've asked. And that brings me on to today's video sponsor, which has been brought to you by Carly, which is an OBD plug-in diagnostic tool which you can connect to the car and your phone via Bluetooth to scan for any codes or faults that might be in your car.
I'll leave a link in the description down below. And don't forget to use discount code Bernie for 15% off.
So let's plug this in and try and figure out what's going on. So to connect Carly, we need to turn Bluetooth on, go into the app and connect it to the car. Okay, so now that we're connected, we can scan the car and see what fault codes we've got stored in it. We're going to go onto diagnostics, scan it for codes and see what comes back to us. Okay, so on here now, I've got about 20 stored fault codes on the engine and a few other ones, but the main one we're going to focus on is going to be the engine. Right, so looking at this, I've got a couple of stored fault codes on cylinder 7 and 8, which is on one bank of the car, which leads me to believe the fault's going to be isolated to one side. And if we sat in the car, I'm thinking that's going to be the left side of the car, because both cylinder 7 and 8 are on the left side, the passenger side in the UK. So I'm going to try and look into that because I don't think it's going to be anything on the other side of the engine. To me, those two faults lead me to believe it's going to be isolated to that bank. So let's have a little look and figure it out. Now thinking of that, both cylinder 7 and 8 were on one side of the car, and remember when I was underneath this car doing the gearbox service on it that there was a bit of a bodge on one of the downpipe gaskets. So what I'm thinking, it could be related to that. But what we're going to do is we're going to go onto the live data, have a look at that and see what comes back to us. Right, so now we have a rough idea of what the problem could be. We're going to start the car up, go into the live data and try and pinpoint what might be wrong with it. Right, so now in the live data, I'm going to go onto the lambdas, try and take a look at them, see if there's a difference in the left and right, and if it is, like I say, it's going to be isolated to one bank, and if one's slightly higher or lower than the other, it could be down to that leak or it could be something bigger at play. So let's take a look and see what it is. So here, to be fair, it does look like there's a very, very small difference in the amount of output on the Lambda 1 and the Lambda 2. So Lambda 1 will be this driver's side and Lambda 2 will be the passenger side. So it could be down to that very small exhaust leak that it's causing some of the gas to leak out, which isn't giving it the right readings. So what I'm thinking is if there is a small exhaust leak there, then that would cause a discrepancy or a difference between left and right. So the simplest way around this for now is to make sure that gasket's okay, try and take a look at it, and if it is a small exhaust leak, that might be tripping the ECU out, which is thinking there's a bigger problem there than there is. putting it into a limp mode because it's not getting the right readings that it wants to, hence why it's only shutting that one side of the engine off. Because I've been under this car before, remembering that there's been a repair there before, it kind of leads me to believe there could have been a problem there before. But what we need to do now is try and see if that problem has been properly fixed, and if it's not, it could be the issue. So let's jack this car up and take a look. That wrap's starting to come away a bit, which isn't exactly what I wanted, so another time I have to really stick this, go over it and get it stuck down before it comes off. Right, so now I've got this off, you can see around here there's quite a bit of sealant, like someone's been here before and trying to fix it. If we go over to the other side, you can see there's no sealant around it, and that one's probably not an issue, so it doesn't need to be touched. But what we'll do on this side is we'll undo these bolts, give it a clean up, get the old gasket off and put a new one on. Okay, so let's get on with it and hopefully this will fix it. So I haven't got quite enough to pull this back as much as I want to. So what I'm thinking is I could maybe undo that 30mm down there, or what's probably a better option is to undo the other side and then I can move the whole thing back. Right, so now I've done the other side, we've got a little bit more space but not quite enough, so we need to pull it back a little bit more and then we can take a look at that gasket. Right, now I've got that pulled back, you can see the gasket does look like it's starting to break down a little bit. The other one, on the other hand, doesn't look quite as bad, but what I might do is I might get a pair, but first what we'll do is we'll get this one off, have a look at it and see how bad it is. So to get this whole gasket off, I'm just going to try and prise up with a screwdriver, cut the rest of it off and then we'll give it a quick clean up. Right, so I've got that off now, and instead of ordering one and doing just the one, I'm going to order a pair of them and doing both, because it'll be just my luck that I do one of them and I'll put it back together and then the other one will start to go as well. So I'll see you when I've got a pair of them. And we're back. So I've got a pair of these from BMW. They're about £14.40 each, something like that. So let's say £30 for the pair. So what we need to do now is I need to jack the back end of the car up because I've not got quite enough room to pull this back to put these on. So what I'm going to try and do is take the middle section off and then we should be able to slide the new ones on and the other old one off. Let's do it. I tell you what, it's absolutely freezing. I definitely picked the wrong time of year. Anyway, let's get the back end up and get on with it. Right, so now we've done those, it's giving me just enough room to pull this front half down and to get the front pipes off the manifold itself. So now we just need to get the old gasket off and we can put the new ones on. So now I've got both the gaskets up, we're going to clean up both the mounting surfaces with a wire brush and some sandpaper so that when we put the new gasket on, it's going to create a good seal between both of the faces. Right, that's one side down, now we just need to move back over and do the other side, which is where I noticed something else. Right, I've cleaned the other side up, but I've just noticed what might be the issue. So you see around here, it looks like that's broken off before and someone's tried to weld around it. And really, it should be flat around the edge, but you can see here, there's quite a bit of weld just on the edge of it. So what I'm thinking is because of that, when you put a gasket on it, as soon as you try and clamp it down, it's going to force some of that gasket out and break in the seal of it. So what I'm going to do is get the Dremel, try and trim that down a bit and make sure it's flat completely around there so we can push the gasket all the way up. Because if you look at the other side, it might not be the best light. Let me grab a torch. Right, so if you look at this side, you can see around here, nothing is being welded around it. That's probably why that side has not been an issue, but I think what can happen is these probably break off or something like that. So I'll get the Dremel, we'll trim this down and that should hopefully solve it. Right, so I've ground that down now, and it's not perfect, but it is a lot better and a lot flatter along with the rest of it. What I've also noticed now though is around the outside of here, from when it's been welded, there are little bits of metal that have been spat off while it's been welded up. Don't get me wrong, it's a pretty good weld, but I don't think it's been cleaned up around here afterwards. So I'm going to sand it down, smooth it all out, because otherwise I think when we put the new gasket on, what'll happen is those little bits of metal, quite sharp, they'll create a very small tear in it, and that might create a leak. So we'll clean this up, and that should hopefully be it. Okay, so that's all cleaned up now to the best of my ability. So all we need to do now is put the gaskets on and get everything else back together. And let's hope that solves it. Right, so it's all back together now. Of course, I'm not entirely sure if it's going to completely solve it. So what we need to do is take it out on a test, see what it's like. First though, I'm going to give my hands a little wash and a quick clean up for myself, and then we'll go. Right, so far then, on a little drive, it does actually feel a little bit better. I don't know if it's just in my head, psychological maybe, but the engine light's not back yet, of course. There's only one thing left to do now. Okay, all sorted, let's go. Let's hope for the best. Hopefully that is the end of our M3 woes. Back to it. I love this thing.
However, there is a fine line between love and hate, because a few moments later, the unexpected happened.
Bruh.
That was so short-lived. I've literally done about 30 miles in it, and the engine lights come back again. Oh. What could it be now? Oh my god, I was just starting to enjoy it as well. Treat it like a queen, put a full tank in it, all this stuff to it, and it starts acting up again. Oh, what is life? So as you can probably understand, we have solved absolutely nothing. Zilch. It looked like it was leaking, and it probably was. We had a fault code for a lambda, but I don't think that's our issue. I think that's something completely different, and it probably didn't really do anything to it. Oh, honestly, I don't have a clue what it could be now. Of course, we're gonna have to dig deeper into this. Right, so yeah, I'll pull over anyway. Where do I start? So we've not solved it. Right, so we're pretty much back at square one now. We're back to where we started. We've still got an issue that we need to fix. So after all of that, it feels almost like we're at a loss, but at the same time, it's probably a separate issue, not the main issue, but we have at least ruled something out. So on the plus side, we are at least moving in the right direction. At the end of the day though, it is a 209,000 mile M3 that I bought salvage, and it may look pretty, don't get me wrong, but underneath that bonnet, we've got a different story. So hopefully next time we can get to the bottom of this, figure it out, and get it running absolutely perfectly, because I do want to take this car to Germany. I want to go to the BMW museum in this car when it's in a bit better health, of course, and we'll carry on with cosmetics when we've got this thing running right. And oh, is that a car? I've got to move. I haven't got time today or the rest of this weekend to try and figure out what's going on with this thing, but next time around we'll hopefully try and get to the bottom of it. So I'll leave it here for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and maybe you've learned to not buy a high mileage M3. I don't really know, but at the end of the day, we are going to get around to it. We are going to fix it. So make sure you subscribe, tap down below, and if you are, thumbs up, give this video a like, thumbs up, whatever, share it, whatever you think, and you know, it helps me out, helps the channel out. helps that thing out. And talking of helping out, a shout out to Carly for sponsoring this video, because things like this really help channel out. They help keeping this car, well, on the road to a degree, and to try and fix some of the issues with it. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next video. See you in a bit.